These writers addressed the denial, fear, and self-delusion of some white women seeking power who saw feminism as an equal opportunity to oppress. Now I think it's called leaning in. For me, this bridge called my back, in particular, created a stunning visual of a bridge that connects from one place to the other, in the literal and metaphorical sense of the word. The choice to be a bridge is a dangerous, often trod upon, and frequently invisibilizing decision. People seldom pay attention to the bridges they walk across because destinations, not means, are their priority. Yet, without these bridges, they couldn't go anywhere new. The bridge metaphor in the literatures of women of color speaks to our never-ending compulsion to connect people, spaces and places to emphasize the intersectionality of oppressions, and offer transformative library practices. When I teach about the importance of this bridge today, I draw a visual picture of how women of color may either choose to refuse to be bridges between their realities and white feminists, or between men and women of color, or between trans and cis people, etc., just as Kimberly Crenshaw illustrated our realities when she drew a traffic intersection on a blackboard with the race, gender, sexuality, and class streets intersecting. This bridge called my back offered the powerful testimony of women offering to be a bridge to new understandings among women of color, with also a nearly inadvertent impact on white feminists. Their purpose was to help build the movements of feminists of color for our strength and succor. Transforming white feminism was not their immediate goal, but was a welcome, unintended consequence. Now, 33 years later, along comes Revolutionary Mothering, Love on the Front Lines, edited by Alexis Pauline Gumbs, China Martins, and Maya Williams, an anthology on radical mothering that is directly informed by This Bridge Called My Back and the tradition of women of color feminism. This extraordinary book is not only radical in its redefinition of mothering, but also addresses the fact that humanity is interdependent, and we need each other to survive, in a way that Carol Gilligan has described. This is in direct opposition to the demonization of human interdependence used to justify dismantling of the welfare state. How do we get from a conservative definition of mothering as a biological destiny to mothering as a liberating practice that can thwart runaway capitalism? This book builds that particular bridge while also providing a bridge from the women of color testimonies of the 1980s and 90s to today's imperatives. This radical redefining of mothering as investing in others' existence moves far beyond biological determinism of the far right or the libertarian dog-eat-dog individualism from Ayn Rand so eagerly embraced by the thinly disguised racist movement rebranding itself as the Tea Party, or the classic moral degeneracy tropes around motherhood embraced by most Republicans and blue dog and centrist Democrats. Their coalition gave us welfare reform. Remember? In contrast, the introduction to Revolutionary Mothering presents the radical concept of mothering creating, nurturing, affirming, and supporting life. Women are socialized, not created, to care for others and to expect others to care for them. Mothering, radically defined, is the glad gifting of one's talents, ideas, intellect, and creativity to the universe without recompense. Radical mothering is the imperative to build bridges that allow us to relate across barriers, the editors say. It is fortuitous, but perhaps not accidental, that I was asked to write this preface in 2014 at the same time we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of the conceptualization of the Reproductive Justice, RJ, framework. Without intending it as its primary goal, reproductive justice has significantly transformed the abortion-focused, pro-choice movement in 2 short decades by moving far beyond a singular focus on protecting abortion rights. Frustrated by the inadequacy of this limited vision for Black women, reproductive justice theory was developed by African American feminists in 1994 and subsequently popularized by many women of color through the leadership of the Sister Song Women of Color Reproductive Justice Collective.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.